73rd verse. Arjun Uvacha
Arjun Uvacha
Nashto Moha Smritirlabdha
Nashto Moha Smritirlabdha
Tvat Prasadan Maya Achyuta
Tvat Prasadan Maya Achyuta
Sthitosmi Gata Sandeha
Sthitosmi Gata Sandeha
Karishye Vachanam Tava.
Karishye Vachanam Tava.
This verse is so much filled with emotions. Arjun says, Nashto Moha. My delusion is destroyed. Smritir Labdha. I have regained my Smriti literally means memory, but it's not just memory. I have regained my thoughts, my wisdom. And how? Tvat prasada maya achyuta. Hey Achyuta, I have regained my thoughts. My delusion is dispelled. Tvat prasadat. It is because of your grace. Sthitosmi. I am steady now. Gata sandeha. All my doubts are dispelled. Karishye vachanam tava. I shall act according to your words. Christ also said in the last moment, Thy will be done. And this is the supreme expression of any disciple. Arjun says, Nashto moha. My delusion is destroyed. This is the result of Bhagavad Gita, dear brothers and sisters. We have so much confusions in life. We have so much distractions in life. We carry so much of unnecessary mental, emotional, intellectual baggage with us. And that confuses us to no end. Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Tvat Prasadat, Sri Krishna's grace does this wonderful job on us. First of all, it dispels our delusions. Smritir Labdha. Smriti. Let me just explain you what Smriti is. In Yoga Darshan by sage Patanjali, Smriti is defined as Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smritihi. Smriti is asampramoshaha. In Sanskrit, the word asampramosha comes from the root musha, mosha. Musha is to steal, to hide. Asampramosha, not to hide. What not to hide? Anubhuta Vishaya. The experienced subject. So, bringing in light your true experience of the pure self is Smriti. The delusion is like a cloud which covers our pure self. And when that cloud goes away, our pure self comes to the light, is called Smriti. Say you are sleeping. Not actually sound sleeping, you are actually dreaming. And in your dream, you are in a forest, dark night. There are scary sounds and voices of animals. You are taking each step very carefully. And suddenly, you see a lion in front of you and you scream, ah! When you scream and open your eyes, you realize, oh, it was a dream. But while it was a dream, it had such a profound effect that your palpitation increased, you started perspiring, you were really scared. But the moment you open your eyes and you realize, oh, I'm in my bed, there is no forest, nothing to worry, there is no lion. That is smruti, remembering or coming in contact with your pure self. The moment you know where you are, what you are, is there any fear left of the forest or lion? No. Anubhuta Vishaya Sampramoshaha Smriti. Patanjali, Lord Patanjali says, Sage Patanjali says. And another definition of Smriti is in the very famous book, a very basic book of Nyaya Shastra by Annam Bhatta. The name of the book is Tarka Sangraha, in which the definition is given: Samskara Matra Janyam Jnanam Smrutihi. Right? Sanskara Matra Janyam Jnanam Smrutihi. What is Smriti? Jnan, wisdom. But what wisdom? Not gathered from books. Sanskara Matra Janyam. Whatever imprints you have gathered through your life. So, it is your experience. When you say something, it's not what you have heard or what you have read. No, or not even what you have just thought. It is what you have experienced that can never go. If you have experienced that chili or maybe some taste, say chocolate or candy, if you have experienced that candy is sweet, it can never go out of your system because it is your smruti, it is your being, it's a part of your being. But you have never tasted a candy, you have just heard, you have just read in books that candy is sweet, candy is sweet, candy is sweet. It may be your information, it could be your knowledge at the most, but it can never become your smruti, it cannot become your being. Here, Arjun says, Lord Krishna, because of your anugraha, because of your grace, nashto moha, my delusion is destroyed, smritir labdha, I have regained my own self. Tvat prasadan maya chita. Again, this address, Achyuta, is very important. In the entire Bhagavad Gita, Arjun addresses Sri Krishna as Achyuta 3 times. First, in the 21st verse of the first chapter, when Arjun tells Sri Krishna to put his chariot in between the 2 armies. Senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapaya me Achyuta. O Achyuta, O Krishna, please place my chariot in between the 2 armies. Second time, Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Achyuta in the 42nd verse of the 11th chapter. When Sri Krishna shows his cosmic form, his Vishwarupa Darshan, while praising his cosmic form, not just praising but actually asking for pardon, Arjun says in the 42nd verse, Yachavaha sarthama satkrutosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu ekothavappyachyuta tat samaksham tat kshamayetva mahamaprameyam. When Sri Krishna showed his cosmic vision, for a moment Arjun was taken aback with utter shock, with utter surprise. And he praised Sri Krishna in the 36th verse of the 11th chapter. Sthane Rishikesha tava prakirtya jagat prarashyatyanurajyate cha rakshansi bhitani disho dravanti sarve namasyanti cha siddha sangha. Everything is proper, Shri Krishna. The way sages are praising you, the way demons are running away from you, everything is just right. But then Arjun realized, what was I doing with Krishna? I just considered Krishna as my cousin. I just took him as a friend. I never realized he is such a great being. He is the supreme power. I might have misbehaved with him. Sakheti matva prasabham yaduktam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakhe. How did I address you, Krishna? Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakha, oh dear friend, come here. Let's have dinner together. Let's go for a walk. And now suddenly Arjun realizes, look at the greatness of Sri Krishna. He never made me realize, he never made me feel that he is the supreme power. He stayed with me, liked me, at my level. Yacha vahasarthama satkrutosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu. Arjun says Krishna. Well, vihar means going for a walk or going for a picnic or something. Shayya, while sleeping, I would have just patted on your shoulder and, hey Krishna, let's go to sleep. Asana, while sitting, bhojaneshu, I would have said, hey Yadav, hey, take one more laddu, eat some more. I might have misbehaved with you because I did not know you are such a great. Eko tavapyachyuta tatsamaksham. Hey Achyuta, please forgive me for all those things because I did not know who you really are. So 42nd verse of the 11th chapter, Sri Krishna Arjun addresses Sri Krishna as Achyuta. And finally, 73rd verse of the 18th chapter, Arjun addresses Sri Krishna as Achyuta. Hey Achyuta, it is because of your grace that my delusions are dispelled. It is because of your grace that I have known my own self. Who am I and what am I supposed to do? It's very interesting to know the meaning of the word Achyuta. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya ji has defined Achyuta as na chyavati napi chavishyati iti Achyuta. He who has not faltered in the past, definitely not faltered in the present, but you can guarantee that he is not going to falter in the future too, is Achyuta. It's so steady and hence is so dependable. Shri Krishna is addressed as Achyuta by Arjun at 3 very important phases in Bhagavad Gita. In the beginning, in the 11th chapter, which is actually somewhere in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, and at the end of the Bhagavad Gita, because Krishna is the one whom you can hold on to, whom you can rely upon, and you are sure that he is going to take you through the ups and downs of life, and he is always going to protect you no matter what. Krishna never fails. And here this what Arjun says, that Sthitosmi, now I am steady, I'm totally confident, Shri Krishna. Gata sandeha, all my doubts are cleared. Karishye vachanantava. Look at this divine surrender of Arjun. I will do whatever you tell me to. Remember the obstinity of Arjun. Remember the outspokenness of Arjun in the first chapter and in the earlier chapters of Bhagavad Gita, where he challenges Krishna. How can you tell me to fight? Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tadekam vadanishitya. Krishna, you are confusing me by mutually opposing statements. That Arjun, in the 2nd chapter, in the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, And look at this Arjun, who says, it is because of your grace that all my doubts are cleared. Shri Krishna, now I am going to do whatever you tell me to. This is what Bhagavad Gita leads us to, dear friends. Clearing all our doubts and making us realize the importance of Shri Krishna in our life. Making us humble in front of the Lord and total surrender to Shri Krishna. I will do whatever you tell me to, because Shri Krishna is a supreme Guru. This is the grace of a disciple to, well, initially he may ask questions, he may raise doubts to the teacher, his Guru, but ultimately a point comes when all the doubts are cleared and the disciple realizes that everything is because of the grace of my Guru, and my well-being is in total surrender at the lotus feet of my Guru. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Arjun is so fortunate to have this absolute surrender at the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna. Let us also surrender ourselves at the lotus feet of Shri Krishna, and I assure you, my dear brothers and sisters, Shri Krishna never fails. He always protects you. He always takes us on the right path to make our life meaningful, divine, and ultimately bringing about a divine union with the Supreme Self. Good luck to you all. It has been a wonderful journey, my dear friends. And look at the coincidence. I have been giving discourses on Bhagavad Gita world over. In this summer of 2014, we finished a 20-year-old journey of Bhagavad Gita in New York by Satkarma Parivar. We used to do one chapter every year. Dhruv was sharing it with me. It's such a wonderful coincidence, Guruji, that in London also you all are finishing Bhagavad Gita, coming to a conclusion. Actually, we can never finish Bhagavad Gita. Even if you start reading it again, you will find that there are more deeper meanings, much more spiritual meanings from Bhagavad Gita you can learn. Because even after speaking on Bhagavad Gita since last 35 years, I still feel every time I read Bhagavad Gita, I find something new. Every time I speak on Bhagavad Gita, I share some new idea on each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita. It's such an endless ocean of wisdom and proximity with God. It has been a wonderful journey. I love each one of you. Whoever is given his time, his or her time, expertise, abilities, and if nothing else, just your curiosity, even that is worth admiring. Whoever has contributed, the CMS McKenna firm, because they have also done quite a lot for helping Satkarma Parivar and Shyam organization to spread this wonderful journey of Bhagavad Gita for 3 years. There has been more than 140 talks. It was Dhruv's idea who came up to me, and today I want to tell you, Beta Dhruv, I'm so proud of you, because 3 years back when you called me, Guruji, I want to give you a birthday gift. I want to start Gita classes in London. I want to tell you today, Dhruv, I'm so proud of you. I love you, and many more. I want many more students. I want many more disciples and friends who can actually gift me this Bhagavad Gita. Let more and more centers begin so that we can share Sri Krishna's divine wisdom with each one on this earth. Because this is a spiritual wisdom free from any kind of faith or any kind of restrictions. It's a universal message. Let the divine light shine. May God bless you all.